The medical journal Lancet, in a study on diabetes trends over the past 30 years, shows nearly 1 in 10 of the world's adults have the disease, and the rate is rising rapidly, including in the U.S., with the biggest 30-year rise for men and the second highest globally for women. But in the Pacific, the increase between 1980 and 2008 has been as steep as 20.5% in the Marshalls. Top Senate Insular staffer and former OIA Director Al Stamen has followed the issue in the islands and was asked about the diabetes rate in the U.S. islands.
It's not as high as the Marshalls, but it's alarmingly high and growing.
As Stamen says, local diets have become less healthy, shifting from fresh fruits and vegetables and fish to more processed foods high in sugar and starch. And while diets may be stretching waistlines, they're also forcing Guam and the CNMI's governments to stretch budgets.
You'd prefer to spend the money on young kids, getting them eating right and exercising and getting their immunization shots, and to divert money from making kids healthy to keeping older, sick people alive for another year or two is a very tough policy call.
But one the Northern Marianas and the freely associated states now increasingly face as they struggle to make medical referral payments for those who can't get needed treatment locally. But Stamen says going to Guam or Hawaii creates other problems.
That unfortunately creates some social tensions because they're now asking those governments in the United States to make that tough decision of diverting funds from primary and secondary care into tertiary care.
Not to mention the difficulty in getting doctors and nurses to operate dialysis machines. The problem is so acute, Stamen says some in Congress from Guam, Hawaii, and elsewhere have taken up the issue, writing to the Obama administration.
Expressing concern about the impact of Micronesian migrants on the cost of social services in those communities where they settle, again, particularly in Hawaii and Guam and the Marianas.
Stamen says the lawmakers recommended Interior and other officials meet with FAS officials and urged that they shift some compact funds from referrals to local dialysis treatment, avoiding the toll on the U.S. islands and states. Stamen says hundreds have come to the U.S. jurisdiction seeking expensive treatment, and those governments, he says, can't take it anymore. Matt Kay for PNC News on Capitol Hill.